All right, now put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me, ladies and gentlemen. Put a 1 in the chat. We're about to have a legendary show. Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Stand by. Stand by. Here we go. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Happy Saturday, happy Saturday, happy Saturday. So, first of all, shout out to attorney Brian Steele, Thugger, and attorney Keith Adams. But today, we're going to talk about not only these three individuals, but we're going to talk about what happened last week in the courthouse. Let's go. All right now. Okay, good. You guys can see me. Hold on. I cut half my head off. Where's my production team? Okay, anyway. Let's go. Okay, let me see. Let's do some roll call here. Who's checking in? Okay. All right. Earlier, ladies and gentlemen, you guys couldn't hear my my live because I was traveling. But I'm here. I'm in the studio. And I want to just talk about what I started talking about before. I don't know what happened. I was muted or wherever the case is. But so this week, I was in a few courthouses. I've covered the Diddy indictment as well as the follow-up bond hearing. But I popped my head into the YSL trial. With the YSL trial, you got to take, you can't take heavy doses of it because it's a lot going on in that trial. And I would have thought by now that trial would have came to a conclusion, but I don't see an end in sight. We're going to have an election. We're going to have a presidential inauguration. We're probably going to have Valentine's. We're probably going to have a few other holidays before this case is even over with. And it's scary to say, I believe that R. Kelly's case will be over with before YSL. And you'll say, why is that, Mr. Byron? Well, this is a slow crawl prosecution. And then the defense has the opportunity to come back and they have the opportunity to put on their case, wherever that case is. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about what happened on Friday. Friday, we had a law enforcement, I guess, detective that gave testimony. Then we had Mr. Zachary who gave testimony. And then we had a juror who took ill, who literally threw up, who probably couldn't take what she was hearing, and she got sick. This is why this case has to come to a conclusion very soon. These jurors are being pushed to their limit. And no one envisioned that these jurors would have to sit this long for a prosecution. And it's a lot to ask of these jurors when a lot of the delays had nothing to do with them. I get it. Some jurors have emergencies. Again, we had a jury got sick a couple of weeks ago. Had one got sick yesterday. So there's a lot happening in this case. But with that said, we still need to have people act accordingly who is literally in this courtroom, who has a very responsible role in making sure everything moves smoothly. And unlike a lot of you probably say, yeah, I know the judge should, right? Yes, the judge should. The judge should make sure that this case moves along efficiently, effectively, and smoothly. But she's not the only one that has a role to play in the courtroom. We know the lawyers have their jobs to do. And I don't know if you guys saw my latest tweet. I even tweeted out painfully. I had to tweet out a picture of a deputies in the courtroom, a sheriff deputy holding the rank of a sergeant. I had to do it. And you probably said, Mr. Barr, why did you have to do it? Well, I had to do it because I haven't been making an observation since last year in the YSL trial. This is why I tell you it's very important to cover trials from inside the courtroom. And I say this all the time. And I'm probably one of the most expert ones in covering trials in Fulton County. And I'll tell you why. Because I'm in the courtrooms and I'm watching the jurors, I'm watching the role that different people play in the courtroom. And it's not just limited to the defendants and the lawyers. It's also the support staff, court officer, court clerk, sheriff deputies. And, the optics is very important in a trial. And what the jurors see, what they see, they will take that back into the deliberation room when they have to hand down a verdict. So that's why it's very important to watch how people conduct themselves in front of the jurors. And what I have seen in the last couple of months is it's a certain individual who has been pretty heavy-handed when dealing with us members of the press. And while there are a lot of members of the press that are not covering this, but there's a handful of members of the press who are covering this, who pop in and pop out, who come in to get their story for that day, and they may come back in a couple of days, a couple of weeks, when interesting witnesses take the stand. When the case started, when the trial started, I was more heavily, there covering it. But as time went on, I had to cover other cases. There's so many cases that are happening around Georgia and around the country. But I do come back to cover YSL. I've covered Fulton County Courthouse for close to 20 years before Judge Barnes was murdered by, I don't know if I should even say his name, but Judge Barnes was a Superior Court judge in Fulton County who was killed by Brian Nichols. He and three other individuals, Judge Barnes and three other individuals were killed in that same courthouse. So I know the judge who replaced him, Judge Craig Swall, who replaced I guess he did replace Judge Barnes in that same courtroom, but I've also covered other courtrooms where different judges, and all the judges held their courtrooms differently. But I can say I had the pleasure of being in a lot of these courtrooms, covering these judges and seeing how they move. As well as I had the opportunity to meet a lot of the sheriff deputies, the rank and file that covers the courthouse, as well as supervisors and top brass that comes through the courthouse. And it's important. I say that for a reason. These guys come to work. These ladies and gentlemen come to work every day, just like you and I go to work. Hope there's nothing eventful that occurs. But, they come to work also, they have to deal with the public. This is one of the jobs that you have to interact with the public, and you have to be able to act in a professional and courteous manner so you are not perceived as the antagonizer or instigator. You got to remember there are people who have loved ones that go through these courtrooms, and there's a lot of emotions there. So you have to have the temperament to be able to deal with people. So on Friday, I had an interaction with um, this individual that I'm about to talk about. But this wasn't the first time, and it wasn't just isolated to me. It also involved other individuals. And when I did the post yesterday, I was surprised at the amount of people had reached out to me that are watching the case and then also watching my reporting. So, and I'm not going to, again, some people reached out to me, and certain people reached out to me in confidence. I would just say that there's others who work with this individual that has issues with this individual. And it's interesting that it took a posting of a photo for others who want to reach out, and they want to talk about what they've seen and what their experience has been. And that's the power and the responsibility of media. So give people a voice to tell their story, to give people an opportunity to voice their concerns. And I think that by doing that, we keep people honest, keep people respectful, and hope people will not try to take advantage of their positions. So this individual essentially walked up. There was someone's phone that went off. My phone was on silent. I keep my phone silent when I'm in the courthouse. They tell you that coming in for years. I'm not the guy that's phone's going to ring in the courtroom. I already know before I walk in, that's one of my procedures. Shut my phone, put it on silence, not airplane mode, put it on silence, because typically when I come in courtrooms, when I'm working, I'm allowed to use my phone if I'm under Rule 22. And if I'm not under Rule 22, then I'm not using my phone. But it was this type of situation that apparently triggered this individual to I guess he thought he was dealing with one of his inmates, and I had to let him know I'm not that guy. I don't talk to you. I don't talk to the sheriff's deputies unless I have to. I'm there to do a job. I'm there to report on the story. And anytime you interrupt me while I'm working, that means you don't respect my position and what I do as a member of the press. You don't have to like me. I don't have to like you. But I have to respect you, and you have to respect me. Put a 1 in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, if you understand what I'm saying. Put a 1 in the chat if you understand what I'm saying. So with that said, the phone goes off, and he's in the courtroom. And I'm gonna show you what I saw the setup coming in at. See, I don't miss very much. Earlier that day, he looked. It was a phone that went off earlier in the day. So he immediately walks over to the media. He doesn't realize there are a handful of interns, not interns, but law students who's observing the case. And usually this happens on Friday. So they're observing the case. They sit behind the media. So they're observing the case, and they're allowed to have their phones. So one of the person's phones went off. I don't know why they didn't take the phones. That's, I don't know what the protocol is for law students when they come in. So one of their phones went off, but they didn't own it. They didn't, when he came over and said, who phones that went off? They didn't own it. They didn't say anything. So he saw all these people sitting behind me. He looks directly at me and says, that's your phone going off. I said, sir, my phone is not even on. He says, yes, he says, I know it's yours. Well, sir, you're across the room. How do you know it's my phone? You don't see my phone in my hand. Not that I can't have my phone because I'm reporting. So he just says, come here. I said, wait, hold on. Oh, first of all, I'm working. No, come here. I want to talk to you. Okay, so I go into we can go out the front, the first doors. There's a little hallway there. So he says to me, let me see your phone. Is it on? What this guy doesn't realize, my phone's supposed to be on. I am a member of the press and I'm working. And what he's doing is interrupting what I'm doing to ask me about my phone. This is where the power tripping comes in at. And from what I learned, he's responsible for the blogger lady getting kicked out the courtroom. But, that's a situation. She wants to talk about it, she could talk about it. But when you walk up to me and interrupt my job, you are interrupting free press. The freedom of press to do their job in an open courtroom. So when I don't know what's wrong with these headphones. You guys, I'm sure you guys can hear me, but hold on. Stand by. I ain't like you guys. I don't have too much wax in my ears. Okay, so when that happened, he said, give me your phone. I said, wait a minute, hold on. Turn your phone off. Why do I gotta turn my phone off? I'm working. I'm not there just here as a hobby. Why do I have to turn my phone off? So it was that moment I realized this guy has an issue. This guy has an issue. And I observed a few other weird things that this individual's done. For example, when certain witnesses are testifying, for example, Walter Murphy, when he was giving testimony, the sheriff was standing behind him. He was literally standing behind him while he was giving testimony. The jurors are to the left of the witness stand. Why is this guy standing behind a witness who is not being detained? And he should be standing behind anyway if he's giving testimony. I've never seen that. In all the trials I've covered, I've never seen a member of law enforcement stand behind a witness giving testimony. Because the optics is bad. It sends a message to the jurors that this witness might not be able to be trusted. Follow me, ladies and gentlemen. You got to remember, law enforcement standing behind the witness as he's giving testimony. He's not detained. He is free to go move about. But it sends a message to the jurors that the witness might be a danger. And that's not the perception that you want to be put in front of jurors in such a high stakes trial. So it gets better. It gets better. 2 weeks ago, there was another witness on the stand. I don't know if you guys picked this up. And this witness was cussing in his testimony. He leans, the witness cussing in his testimony, which he can. This is still America's First Amendment. You might not like what he says, how he says it, but he's cussing in his testimony. The Supreme Court has ruled that that is protected under the First Amendment. He goes up to the guy, leans into him, and says to him, "Stop all that damn cursing." Wait a minute. So you just took it upon yourself, while there's a judge on the bench. The judge didn't direct him to tell the witness anything. He took it upon himself to tell the witness to how to talk. You might not like the way the witness is talking, but you don't need to interfere with the witness. You're not a prosecutor and you're not the defense attorney. So why are you leaning into the witness and telling him how to talk? Again, the prosecution picked the witness. You're not putting this guy in a crash course on etiquette to give testimony. You want to get the testimony. And however he delivers it is what it is. It's up to the jurors to be able to determine the truth or non-truth of what he's saying. So it gets better. Same individual. He's running around the courtroom. I'm watching him. I'm watching everybody. I'm watching everybody. I'm watching the investigators. I'm watching if there's signals going around the courtroom, I'm watching everything. That's what I do. How do I get the money shot? And guys, when you hear my term money shot, it means the shot that captures a moment in history. I've gotten many money shots over many years. So I'm looking for the money shot. I don't want to be distracted by the noise or anything when I'm in there working. I don't want you coming to me, trying to talk to me, when my job is to capture what's happening in the courtroom. So others have now reached out to me. So this is I'll tell you guys why it's important. You have a very high stakes trial going on. And you have someone running around the courtroom, intimidating members of the press. Same individual goes back with the jurors. And this is where you guys got to do a little research. And this has literally the behavior of deputies or clerks, well, not clerks per se, but the person who is designated to be with the jurors when they leave to take breaks, when they go back, when there's a adjournment or a recess, that individual goes back to the jury room, escorts them back. And we don't know what kind of conversation is being had with this individuals and the jurors. We don't know what that is. We don't know if there is any, and hopefully these jurors will reveal if anyone is saying anything inappropriate to them. So I had tweeted that this individual is interacting with obviously the defendants and the jurors. But if he doesn't show courtesy to the people that are there to report on what's happening in the courtroom, then what do you think he's doing what do you think is happening with these inmates when the cameras are off and no one's watching? You already see what's happening with witnesses that are brought in under a material witness warrant. There's a lot going on here, and ladies and gentlemen, you may not believe, but if you can influence the jurors by way of your behavior, then you can affect the outcome of a trial. You can. This is why it's very important that reporters are inside the courtroom and not just watching the video, the pool footage. Because what the pool footage doesn't cover is what's happening when they say turn the cameras off. But we're still in the courtroom. We're still in the courtroom, but you're saying turn the cameras off, but we're still reporting. We're still reporting. And that's why I've already said I will photograph until the judge who's presiding over this case says that that person can't get shot. Photograph. And obviously, the lawyers for both sides are going to have to represent to this judge why not. So this individual has also told myself and others to turn the camera off. But if it doesn't come from the judge, and he's just saying it because they don't want to, no. If a witness is coming to testify, and I'm not told beforehand the reason why I shouldn't photograph them, I'm photographing them. And the pool camera, from what I'm told, is directed to photograph them. And we're going to talk about the pool cameraman a little bit. I don't want to talk too much about him because while I have to talk a little bit about him because the guy he done drank the Sylvia tea. His nose might be open. His nose might be open. His nose might be open. So let me tell you what happened in the morning. I come in. I know I do have pictures. I do have pictures. So I come in. The witness is on the stand, and the pool camera tripod is directly facing the witness on the stand, and he's standing there. So I can't see the witness on the stand. So I politely said, excuse me, can you move your tripod over? And when you see what the picture of the courtroom, I took a wide angle shot so you guys can. Let me pull a picture up. Let me pull a picture up so you guys can see it. Let me pull it up. Hold a second. I'm going to pull that up. Okay, I'm going to pull a picture up. I may post it as a thumbnail. The security that someone speaks about is to make sure people are safe in the courtroom, make sure people keep order in the courtroom, make sure the judge is safe, make sure, that is the reason why security is in the courtroom. Security is not there to police the First Amendment or to police reporters. That's not what security is in there for. Security is just to keep order in the courtroom. Security is not to tell reporters how to do their job. Real reporters, actual reporters that do this day in and day out across all courtrooms around the country and around the world. We don't need security for that. We need security to make sure our equipment doesn't get damaged while it's in the courtroom. That's what we need security for. So, good old Maurice, and I don't know if you guys will watch me or follow me on Twitter. I sent a tweet out last week praising the guy. He's doing a great job operating the camera and everything. And I said this is, it's important because, sometimes the cameraman doesn't get the recognition that he needs. He's working for a company and he doesn't get the shout outs. So I shouted the guy out last week. You probably don't follow me on Twitter. I rarely say anything to me. Even since I met him, I don't really say nothing to the guy. He's someone who's working like I am. I show respect. But all of a sudden, in the last couple of months, he's been acting kind of funny. He's been acting a little funny. So him and old girl are tight. They're cool. He follows her. He's a sub. He's a sub on her channel. I said, okay, that's nice and cute. So I just asked him to move the camera, shift it when there's a break, just shift it. So he doesn't want to move it. I'm here. I'm not moving it. Well, he has the whole bench. And I too worked with other camera people on the same row, and we worked together because we did to do a job. So this is only my speculation, but it appears that individual that we know so well might have concocted a whole scheme to interfere with what I do. But it's okay. I still get the money shots. That's one thing you're not going to stop me getting the money shots. I'm going to get them anyway. So the guy, I don't want to, I want too much time on him. And I get it, Some people come in, they want to simp for the silverback. They want to simp. So he says a few words. I'm not going to go into what he said. Let's just say he was doing a little showboating in the courtroom. Not really for many people to hear. It was just for the people in the back to hear. And I responded in kind. And I said, we could talk about it outside like gentlemen. Let's be gentlemen and talk about it outside. And let's be respectful. But no, he didn't want to be respectful. He wanted to be a little sassy. So I said, okay, we could talk about it on a break. And I'm trying to, what's the issue? But I knew what the issue was. He got his nose open. His nose is open. His nose is open. He might have, I don't know what was going on, but his nose is open. I'll just say that. So what I did, after there was a break, I went to the media room, checked some email. He come walking in. Just me and him in the room. Space and opportunity, I call it. Space and opportunity, but I'm a gentleman. I'm always a gentleman. So I say to him, because I already know, back in my mind, I know that, they're scheming. So I say to him, is there a problem? We got an issue? We can talk about it right now. He didn't have the same energy. No one was looking at him. We were just in the room by ourselves. And he didn't have the same energy. So I said to myself, okay, I see what it is. He was just trying to impress her. That's all it was. He was trying to impress her. So I said to him, I got, so he won't be able to refute it. Because I got the video. I made sure, I had the video. Because I want to see if he had the energy. He didn't say nothing. He was just quiet. Let him eat his lunch. I just never said anything aggressive. I just said, if it's, you want to talk, anything, you have anything to say? Because you sure had a lot of things to say. And you know how it is, the person, they kind of get a little louder because they want the other people to hear them. You better not say that to me. I'm like, dude, what's wrong with you? Anyway, so we get in the media room. He's quiet. He don't say anything. He's everything cool. So I'm okay. Everything good. There was no issue. He was just trying to show her, I'll defend your honor. Boy, you better stop it. What I did do, I showed him one of my videos. I just showed him one of my videos. So you really want to go with that? You really want to? You don't want to do that. So, and I was very nice. I said, we have no problem. We good. I'm not really upset. I'm not even upset with the guy. The guy has become fond of the infamous. He got, we know what she can do with a phone. You know how she not talking that, how she know how to do that phone thing. We know what she, what, guys, you know what I'm talking about. I ain't gonna say it. I ain't trying to get my channel. I ain't gonna say it. I ain't trying to get flagged. But you know how she like to get on that phone late 2 or 3 in the morning, talk that soft, man, and what you doing? Guys, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. See, those who've been around for a long time know what I'm talking about when we're talking about that. You guys got to do some research. But the people who've been around for a long time know what I'm talking about. So you're probably saying, what is Mr. Byron talking about? Those who have been around for a while know what I'm talking about. We know how we know what her other occupation was. She said it. She was she was an operator of sorts. She used to answer the call, the 2 and 3 in the morning call. She used to say, hello, how you doing? Hey, what you doing? You got your baby on? No, sorry. Excuse me. I'm just joking. I'm joking. By the way, I heard Johnson & Johnson stock went down. The baby oil stock went down. I don't know if that's true or not, but I know someone said, I don't know. Listen, if you don't listen, for those who know what I'm talking about, put a yes in the chat. For those who know what I'm talking about, put a yes in the chat. Because there are people who don't know. But there are people who know. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, I might have some receipts. I don't know if I can release it. I don't know if I can release it right now, but it is my belief that she might have tested that voice out again. She put that voice on you. She tried it with Judge Whitaker. Judge Whitaker wasn't having it. Girl, talking to the microphone. But Maurice got his nose open. I get it. He got his nose open. I'm going to defend her honor. Then he looked. He said, well, maybe not with this guy. Maybe another guy. Not with this guy. So I give him a pass. Because I told him, I said, listen, I really don't talk to the help. You're the employee. I really don't be talking to you. I'm talking to the bosses. Why am I even talking to you? Why am I even talking to you? I think he got what I was talking about. I don't really talk to you, I talk to the bosses. I don't really talk to you. But what I'll say is, if I had handled a different way, he would probably be out of a job today. If I did that. But I don't want to see the guy lose his job. And that's sincere. I don't want the guy to lose his job because he got his nose open. I don't want to see him lose his job. But you got to be very careful how you take up for people because you don't know the history. Sometimes you got to know the history. You got to do the research. You just can't go in blindly and say, I'm going to defend the honor. I don't care what she... No, I can't do that. Can't do that. That's why the graveyard's full of bodies and the penitentiary is full of bodies. You can't just jump out there. You got to understand the history. Because everyone don't react the same way. Luckily, I'm a man of wisdom. Lucky, I'm a man of wisdom. And I saw what the play was. I saw what the play was. Get him out of the courtroom. That you and I could just be here. You can do the pool, and I can sit here and I can stream. And we could talk at 2 or 3 in the morning. No. We're still going to cover the case. We're still going to do that. So I gave him a pass. Everything good. I knew he wasn't About it. It was looking good in front of the ladies. What do you do? Go back there with her. Go back there with her. Oh my God, dude. Hold on. So, ladies and gentlemen, there are people that have been around and they know the history, and I don't want to go back and talk about that part of it. Uh, but you can go to the membership, and we got videos. We got videos there in the membership. You can do your research yourself. The videos are there. I've put them in membership just because there was a long history there, but the videos are there. If you want to look at the backstory is in the membership section. It's in the membership. We ain't got to rehash it. Listen. I'll be trying to put this to bed. Like come on, just let me do my job. I come in there. They taking up 3 or 4 seats. I mean, you need 3 or 4 seats for? What if we had a packed courtroom? Then what happens? You got to adjust. But it's all good. But let's get back to they gave my name Sergeant Tattletale. They call him Sergeant Tattletale now. So I get it. You got to make sure you have order in the courtroom. You got 6 defendants in there, and they have some serious charges. So I get that part. But the media, is not one of the defendants in this case. We are a non-party. We are there just to report. I'm not there to make friends. I'm no one's friend in that courtroom. When I'm in there, I'm working. I ain't kiki, haha, and all that stuff with you. I'm in there to work. I'll be respectful to you. You be respectful to me. Sir, sir. Ma'am, ma'am. Except when you're Judge Adams' courtroom, because she don't like to be called ma'am. But the point is, we all have a role to play, and we got to respect each other's position, their role, and their job. And that's it. And I'll say this again. Before I say that, last week, those who have been watching the YSL trial, they heard District Attorney Love argue to the court that the cameras shouldn't photograph A. Smith, the young lady who came in the courtroom. She wasn't there that long. Cameras shouldn't record A. Smith. And the judge ruled on it. But then she says that the media never objected to the prosecution not wanting these witnesses photos taken. So I'm like, wait a minute. What am I to object to when the judge hasn't made a ruling on these witnesses? You have to make a proffer to the judge why a witness shouldn't be photographed. It is not my job to say, Yana, this witness should be photographed because of this. No, you have to make your proffer to the judge, not to us. Because our position, and mine in particular, is if they take the stand, I'm shooting them. If the judge says something to the contrary, that's a different conversation. But when she said to the judge, we forfeited our right to object to not photographing this witness, was not true. We've never forfeited our right to not shoot a witness if we have a Rule 22 and we're using cameras. We never forfeited our right. But and then she says, and this is Ms. Love, I thought that was interesting that she said, well, the media could independently, they can make their own determination whether or not to shoot that person. So then you should be talking to the judge. You should be talking to us. You should. I didn't understand that. You should not be telling the judge that we can make the determination whether or not we want to shoot someone. But you use that as part of your argument to the judge So is that like are you trying to influence the media on what witnesses to shoot and not to shoot? Well, my position is that we shoot everybody because everyone has come to this case to to give their testimony, and the public has the right to see how this trial plays out. And the longer the trial goes, the more important that the cameras should stay up so they can see what's happening. And barring the media getting kicked out the courtroom when there's something sensitive being discussed, it's like we're still in the courtroom. We're still in the courtroom. So the reliability is only on the recording or what we report back without recording. Where's the I don't understand that whole logic there. Well, you can stay in the courtroom, but you can't record. I don't understand that. That's like, okay, then why are we even in the courtroom? I don't know. Well, I would say yesterday. I'm sorry, guys. I have a different lens on. I have a 50 on. I have my 50 on. Okay, so it should be clear. Hold on. I'm using my 50. Hold on, guys. Let me get that 50 right. Okay. Okay. So she was in the courtroom yesterday, but I think she's a little, let's just say, more careful and to not to, I guess, piss anyone off. I don't know. I just know that yesterday, the way that person approached me, it was just like, dude, what are you doing? I don't need to talk to you about anything. I don't need to interact with you about anything. So I've made the decision to not interact with you about anything. You tell someone to tell someone else to tell me something, but I don't want to talk to you. I don't even like you. I don't like your behavior. I don't like how you talk to people, especially my colleagues. I don't like you. But can I work with you? Absolutely. I can work with you. I can work with you. Um, let me see here. So some people said maybe she's done this to, and I have my own feeling that she might have played a role in this. I have my own feelings about that. At least with the whole Maurice thing. Not him so much because he kicked her out the courtroom. But what the hell are you watching her social media? Why are you watching her page for? That's the bigger question. What is he doing watching her page and reporting it back to the judge? He's interfering with the media again. If she didn't give any names up, then she didn't say no. Like, come on, let's be honest here. He doesn't need to report back on anything she's reporting on unless he was told to do to monitor her page. And again, he has no right to tell her what she can report on or how she reports. Nor can he do that with me, AJC, Court TV, CNN. He can't do that to anyone. But I think the intimidating of the media is intentional. It's to discourage them to come to court. That's just my opinion. It's to intimidate them, to discourage them to want to be in the courtroom. Because he shouldn't be talking to me at all. When I'm in any other courtroom, I don't talk to the depths. I don't talk to them at all. At all. I have no reason to talk to them. Then someone apparently took a picture, and this is something that people don't understand. I don't think they were listening, but the jurors don't know that these defendants are incarcerated. The jurors don't know that. Well, at least they shouldn't know that. They probably know that. Between you and I think they do know this. But the door that the defendants come in and out of shows that they're in custody. So that's why they don't want those type of pictures being shot. And I'm all for that. I don't want to do anything that would give the impression that these guys are guilty. I don't want to do anything by way of a photo that would, not they're supposed to be looking at the pictures. As a matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, why is that even, if the jurors are not looking at television or the internet, me taking a picture of that door shouldn't be relevant. They're not supposed to be looking at anything, but I get it. They want to make sure these guys get a fair trial. But they not really, the jurors are not supposed to be looking at anything that's coming out from our reporting, because they're instructed not to look at any part of the media. Because we've seen in Ernesto, when he comes out, we shoot him coming out the door. He comes out in orange, he goes back in. He comes out dressed. I don't know. That's interesting that particular case that they're doing that, because at the end of the day, we are still reporting. They should not be watching. The jurors are not supposed to be watching. They shouldn't be watching anything because they're in the courtroom. So I don't know what that rule is even for. Now that I think about it, what is that rule for? I need to find out. I need to make a phone call on that one. All right, guys, I want to read some of these comments. I see some comments coming in, so stand by. Let me read some of these comments. Let me see. We blurry here. Okay, we put that 50 back there. Okay. Hold on. Let's see here. So, do you stream the trial? The trial's being streamed. I just don't have. I'm taking notes and everything. I don't have the time to be streaming and doing. No, I'm shooting pictures. Let's see here. I'm trying to see what. Let's see here. Collective says. Oh, the courthouse detention. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Well, you can't really see anything in that door. I don't. When that door opens, I see nothing. I see nothing. So I don't know. You can't really see anything when the door opens. They come in, they come out. You can't see. Cameras are not going around corners or nothing like that. So you can't really see anything collective. Shout out to the late great Isaac Hayes. Right, eBay. No, you're right. It's not in the trial phase. Right. Let's see here. Hold on a second. I'm trying to read some of these comments. Why do I think collective tribal conscious works for the court? Okay, hold on. Okay, so what is the total amount of media? Well, that fluctuates. Sometimes we'll have maybe two in the courtroom, and most in the media room, watching it on the monitor in the media room, because they don't want to sit in the courtroom and they can get work done and they could talk and phone and do the work. And then the most I've seen in the courtroom at any given time is about 8 members of the press. So, collective, again, I don't know if that's the point you're trying to make, but I don't keep my phone on anyway. My phone is on silence all the time. Bella, no one. You got to pull up with no one. Nyla's in here? I didn't see Nyla. Is Nyla in here? I'll read the comments. Okay. I didn't see Nyla in here. Get yourself out of here. We're going to put you out of here. You're in a timeout. Collector, why are you just coming for closing arguments? What the heck is that? Girl, you need to get up in the mix. You don't be coming from just no closing arguments. You better come for the defense's presentation. Gig it. Some of it's entertainment, so calm down. Okay, hold on. Succeed, what's good? Oh, I have to go now. Okay. Oh. I missed her. I missed her. I missed her. Okay, it's all good. All right, guys. So I get people have their job to do, but just when I'm doing mine, just don't bother me, please. Don't bother me. Do your job. Do your job, and try not to intimidate the witnesses while you're doing your job. Let them give their testimony. Get away from them, and let the jurors see them who they are without you standing behind them, like like your dog about to tear up a bone or something. I don't know what the heck going on. Hold on a second here. Someone said there'll be flying cars by the time closing arguments happen. Can anyone guess what month, what year this trial will be over? What month, what year this trial will be over? My guess is, oh my goodness. You remember we had like 100 witnesses. They don't have 80. I think they have like 85 witnesses now. So I'm guessing next Christmas. I'm guessing next Christmas this trial will be over. Not this Christmas. Next Christmas. 2026. Not December 25th. Not this year. Not this year. It's not. No. No way. It could be. Listen. It could be over if the judge grants one of those mistrials any day. I thought she was going to actually grant a mistrial this week. I don't know why I thought that, but Max Shard made a good point. But the judge went to look at the transcripts, just came back and said, nah, not so fast. I'm not even giving you guys a curative instruction. Just don't do it. Rephrase your question. But Yeah, that's the only way this case will be over if they do something really egregious where the judge has to make the call. It's not going to be over 2025, 2026. Wait a minute, hold on. No, mm. Does anyone have the witness count right now that's been on the stand? I think we may be at about 70 witness, maybe. I got to check the witness count. I think we had about 70 witnesses, if that much, because it seems like it's a long time. And then they took some witnesses off the list and they added them back on. 65 witnesses. So 65 witnesses. Okay, so there you have it. If it's 65 witnesses and they have about another 80 witnesses or 85 witnesses, that's another year. Then the defense has a witness list as well. Then it's going to be a cross-examination of the defense's witnesses, then redirect. Oh my God. I'm leaning towards 2026. I'm leaning towards 2026. August, no, 2026. I'm looking at probably by February 2026. That's my guess. 65 witnesses, and we're still not even there. Yeah, that's insane. Well, I'm surprised that Mr. Zachary Mr. Zachary did look a little sick on the stand. We saw his picture 10 years ago, and then we see who he is now. But he definitely didn't look like he was all there. And they put him up in a hotel. So he'll be okay. They just didn't want him to go home. Yeah, Eve, I agree with you. Early 2026. Think about all the money that's being spent for this trial. It's ridiculous. Oh, they didn't. Wait, hold on. They didn't put him in a hotel. Wait a minute, because I left. I left the courtroom. I tell you when I left the courtroom. I left when the juror got sick, and he fired his attorney. I don't think that was a good idea to fire your attorney. I don't think that was a good idea. I don't know. When I zoomed that picture, and he didn't look too well. Okay, good. Okay. So okay, that's good. Now you better show back. He's gonna show back up. He'll show back up. But that just tells you that the prosecution was doing too much. They put a material witness warrant on him, arrested him, put him in it's just they did too much. And they could have just gave him the opportunity to show up. I don't think anyone's taking the collective. You're right. I don't think anyone needs to take the stand on the defense side, but they still have to get past the prosecution witnesses. I think what will happen is they're going to have at least 100 well, maybe 50, maybe 100. I don't know. I don't know how many. I got to look at the defense's list. They just had to get the right people up there to say the right thing. Okay, so he released it to his mother. Okay. Because last I checked, he was I left the courtroom when the jurors got sick, and I think they took him to the back because they already had told him he was going to. At first, they told him he was going to go. They was going to put him up in the hotel. It didn't really make no sense because he lives in Atlanta. No visitors, ankle monitor, and his sister is allowed. That's it. Wow. Okay. Okay. See? Yeah, I guess I'll look at that last. It's probably only like maybe 10, 15 minutes more since when I left. I actually left at I want to say I left about four something. I'm actually going to watch that clip. All right, guys, let me pull that clip up. Let me pull that clip up, guys. Stand by. Stand by, guys. I'm gonna pull the clip up and I'm gonna put you guys in a short break. Stand by. Ah.
That mean?
Try to make myself look innocent.
Okay, fair enough. So, who else did you that would secure his testimony? So, I am also aware that there are concerns, with his condition deteriorating and all of that at the jail and whatnot.
Yeah.
And there is concerns on our end with something happening while he's in a room with an investigator, not a medic or something like that. Like, and they're not trained to, deal with that. but I am trying to combine.
Okay,
I
then
just
put
said-
up the witness and the family member whom you do not have concerns about, but who you were willing to put into Mr. Zachary into the care of, put them both up. And that way it seems to all be taken care of.
And I will,
But, you know, if we're just leaving it up to the family members to battle it out amongst themselves, you know, whose position wins out, that doesn't seem like a very good plan. Okay.
Yes. So let me go try that.
Oh, wow. Don't let them battle it out.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of obvious. And I know that you are advocating that he be released home, but that doesn't seem like necessarily the best idea for even him, considering that if he's going to have family members on opposing sides of what should happen next, then that actually could be very stress-inducing for him.
The sister is here, and I'd just like to put her under oath. She wants to be put under oath and have her testify where he's going to be.
It doesn't matter. I'm not going to let that happen. And I appreciate that everybody has good intentions. And if his sister needs to be the caregiver over the weekend, and I'm sorry that we had to stop early, but we couldn't help it. There was a sick juror. Then
Another issue, they may decide they want to have another lawyer because they're not happy with me after being here every day.
all right, well,
I mean,
you're Mr. Zachary's attorney, not his family's attorney. So it's up to Mr. Zachary.
well, it appears none of them are happy because it's taken so long. I'm not blaming anybody, and I've even been threatened with them taking out a warrant for kidnapping. I'm not worried about that against me. And so I'm a big boy, I can deal with it, but he's got to make a decision what he wants to do.
Okay,
That's where I am right now.
all right.
Damn, they're attacking his attorney? I think his attorney did okay. I don't know. What do you think, guys? You think his attorney did okay? He was definitely fighting for him.
You're not by chance the attorney referenced in the warrant who told him that he could, you are not by chance the attorney referenced in the affidavit in support of the warrant who allegedly advised him that he didn't have to abide by the subpoena, or the subpoena was no longer in effect, are you? And you don't have to answer that. But I certainly hope not, because I don't know where anybody would have gotten an idea that a subpoena to show up for this trial was somehow not valid just because the judge changed. But
I just, at 2 a.m. in the morning, Sunday morning, I found out about this. I think I've been in here one time.
all right, well, then that wasn't you.
It was an issue, and I came in here to support him.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, that's good to know that you didn't give totally incorrect legal advice.
Well, she asked the question, but she won't let him answer. Well, I don't know. Okay, so
But I would respectfully submit if we're gonna, the DA is gonna have a conversation, and you and I are gonna have, we need to have him out here, because he's really upset about what's happening, where he wants to tell the court. Because I think that's only fair.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you.
I had left probably 10 minutes before this happened. And what's up with this GoFundMe? Did the GoFundMe pay for this attorney? And who was pushing this GoFundMe account?
We can get him out.
I'm checking with our, I'm checking with the people that can control that part on our end in terms of sitting at the location. I'm trying to affect for this happen.
Okay, well, I'm sure y'all will be able to do that. Y'all been able to do things like that for years. So, Mr. Zachary, I am sorry that we were not able to finish with your testimony today. We had, I mean, you saw the juror run out. And she had some sort of a sickness issue, and I think she threw up. And I mean, having just come from the hospital, you probably understand. But she's too sick to continue today, and so we're going to have to pick up on Monday. And so what I think would be the best thing to do in the meantime is over the weekend to just put you up in a hotel room somewhere. You can, I know it's not awesome, but well, because there are certain members of your family who seem very determined to have you not finish testifying.
Grown man, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't want there to be kind of,
If I ain't want to testify, I would sit in jail. Jail ain't letting me. I
well,
did 19 years.
so you'd rather go to jail than a hotel
Oh, I'm
room?
ready to go home.
I know you are. I know. But we're going to have you in a hotel room. You are welcome to have your mom or your sister there over the weekend. But I just think that it's better if it's a more controlled environment where your father is not going to be causing stress for any of y'all.
Abundance. So
Okay.
constant
My father
create.
don't cause stress with me. He cause stress with them. He told to do that.
I know. Well, I don't know that, but if he causes stress
I
to
know.
them, then
I
that
don't
might
know. I don't
cause
know
stress
that.
to you. So,
They took my phones. Can you tell them to get my phones back?
which phones?
My
Just
phone.
for you to come testify?
I don't know. They took them.
Okay. Yeah, you,
No, the officer back there took them.
I mean,
I think when they took him in custody.
They took both my cell phones.
I don't really
They
have
ain't turn them into property.
I don't really have a problem with him having his phones. The issue is him showing up for court. So it's fine with me if he gets his phones back.
Collective. How much did they raise for him? The Purple Hearts. How much did they raise?
So is there anything else you wanted to let the court know?
Yeah. I don't want that lawyer no more.
You don't want that lawyer
Why you working
anymore.
for them?
All right, well, let me say this, when you come back on Monday, it may be that you
I don't need
want
no
a
lawyer.
lawyer, you don't feel like you need any kind of lawyer whatsoever. So what if things change on Monday?
I don't need no lawyer.
All right. Well, Mr. Scheib, thank you for your service.
Sure, yes, ma'am. Good luck.
Anything else? Hang on. I'm asking actually Mr. Zachary right now. Mr. Zachary, is there anything else that you need to?
I can go now?
No, because what's going to happen is that somebody probably from the DA's office is going to escort you to whichever hotel this is they end up putting.
Can it be hard walking out the door?
Can it be what?
Oh, right there walking out the door.
I don't know whether it's going to be
Hold
that
on.
particular investigator or not.
She know it.
It might be, it might not be. It's not going to be up to me. All right, what else?
That's it.
Okay, so they will get you in not too much longer.
Okay.
All right.
So they raised
And we'll see you
9,000 for.
Monday.
Your Honor, at the risk of just generally being annoying, I would just ask that the witness and also both sides be instructed not to discuss the testimony
Okay,
over the weekend. I
Yeah.
think that's very important.
so don't discuss what you've talked about before or what you might talk about later with anybody over the weekend. Just keep it in your own head, okay? All right.
So who was getting the GoFundMe? Was the father getting the GoFundMe? Was it going straight to the father?
Okay.
Well, the reason why he needs a lawyer to testify is because he's under immunity
So I know the
agreement.
state still needs to get the modification of the order.
But if they ask
Together.
him something
Are
that will put
there
him in legal jeopardy, he needs a lawyer for
other
that.
things we can deal with right now? Make sure that whatever modified order you put together also includes release of his property back to him. Okay. All right, how about other issues? So would the plan be finish with Mr. Zachary on Monday, and then if he doesn't go through the whole day, pick back up with Mr. Sprinkle? Okay, and that certainly would take us through the full day, because okay. So all right, anything else, y'all, this afternoon?
Yeah, the court allow us to handle the matter that we're handling, and to deal with any other.
They can't hear you.
So unusual. Could the court allow us to handle any other matters on Monday? I'm just trying to get.
I know y'all need to get that done, but y'all have at least 3, it may be 4. I'm not sure if Ms. Knight's an attorney or not. Attorneys at council table right now. So you ought to be able to delegate something to somebody else. So this was what, your number 60 that was today's? I can't even remember what that one was about. So.
The judge is right. You got 3 attorneys at the council's
Give me a
table.
second.
One can do the order for the judge. The other one can deal with the impending issues as it relates to evidence. Motion to eliminate.
And had a chance to read it yet.
that's fine.
So, Miss Love must want us to come in early on Monday instead of being back, if it's staying here late on Friday. All righty. I would not actually, but
Oh, you started it.
that's not even when we have to argue on Monday. So, all right, we'll just do our regular old 8:45. So I will adjourn us for the day, but Miss Love, I'll stick around to sign that order, obviously.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So we didn't hear that. You guys said your okay. So I didn't hear that unless it's something else I missed. Hold on. No.
Zaxby's new chicken finger tacos.
Oh.
One smothered with creamy chipotle.
Okay. So if it happened off camera. Okay. So I didn't learn that from that the guy went home with his parents. So someone must have stayed around and got that information. Okay. But did they go back on camera? Abundance. Did they go back on camera? Because the cameras she adjourned it for the day. Okay. Oh, they pulled the documents. Okay. Okay. So that okay. Or was it would have been file stamped already? Okay. All right. Well, there it is. So they'll probably be if they really paused the GoFundMe, whoever set the GoFundMe up, it would be the ones that would be the benefactors of the GoFundMe, from what I'm told. Right, because that from the time I walked out the courtroom until what we just seen, it wasn't that long, maybe 20 minutes. Collective, you're right. No matter where he is, eyes are on him. Yeah, oh yeah, they got eyes on him. But he, like you say, he's a grown man. Why do you gotta keep this guy locked up in the hotel? So did they get paid? Did that attorney get paid through GoFundMe? I don't think they released the money that quick. Oh, Thugger Daily posted. Okay, that's what happened. Okay. Well, he pulled the documents. All right, guys. Well, listen. I said what I said. I did get a. Someone did reach out to me from the sheriff department. I'll just say someone reached out to me shortly, and I'm going to deal with that and see what's that all about, and I'll give you guys an update. The judge said she's aware of this. Oh man, this is getting crazy. Why is the judge even saying that? I don't know. Anyway. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time. Until next time. Unless you guys have something you want to bring up real quickly. But gotta go. I really do. We're out.